Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another segment of Let's Talk About It at Willard Library. Every first Thursday of the month, we air this segment so that we can provide resources and information of things that are available right here in Battle Creek in Calhoun County. So on today, I am excited to have our guest, Nina, who is from Safe Place. So Nina, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why February is a very important month.
My name is Nina Patterson. I am actually from Marshall, so I'm, here in the area of Southwest Michigan, and I've been involved in sort of anti-violence work, domestic violence, and sex assault resistance work for a while now. And my current position that I'm so excited about is actually kind of new. I started at Safe Place in October. So my whole job is prevention education.
Okay.
And so it's all about getting out into community spaces and providing prevention education surrounding the topics of domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, and human trafficking. So I can provide trainings and education to lots of different kinds of spaces and groups and community members, but it's mostly about youth, which I'm totally interested in, and very, very thankful for it, because I do believe that that's the most critical members of our community that need to be targeted with prevention education. So what I spend most of my time doing is going into Battle Creek Public Schools and other schools to give dating violence, relationship abuse, prevention curriculums to the students at Battle Creek Public Schools.
And I think that is so important, and I don't know if many people know, but we have a lower level that is targeted for 5th through 12th grade. From 3 to 5 o'clock, we provide a space downstairs, and we average 50 to 60 kids daily. And so we are excited or really grateful to have Nina here, because we hope to have her in the month of February, because it is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, so that she can come and provide information and resources to our teens. So once again, we have Nina here from Safe Place. Can you let the people know how to contact someone or how to contact you before we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Safe Place, I'll give you a little rundown of how the organization works as well.
Okay.
Safe Place is a domestic violence agency, so it's trauma stewardship, it's victim services. We provide, of course, crisis intervention, which includes hotline services, getting people to where they can getting people into a space where they can think about their goals and figure out what it is that they need. We offer temporary shelter. We help people get connected to other community resources. We provide, sometimes we help with transportation. We help people with achieving safe, affordable housing. We connect people to free counseling, stuff like that. So we intend to provide sort of a holistic wraparound service model to help people achieve safety in their home and their relationships. And our helpline is a 24-hour helpline that is 888-664-9832. And so hotline's great. And yeah, we're accessible 24/7.
That's good to know. So tell us, can you give us a definition of what teen dating violence is?
Yeah, so in abusive teen relationships, as in adult abusive relationships, there is this intentional use of destructive, abusive, controlling behaviors by one person over the other person in that relationship. That's how I would define it. There's so many other ways and methods to delivering a definition to stuff like that. I try to keep it sort of broad.
So since we're focusing on teens, what are some signs that a teen can look for, or maybe, and what family and friends can be looking for if there is a concern?
Yeah, so I think on one hand, there's red flags that could point to a relationship potentially becoming abusive. And on the other hand, there are some sort of behavioral signs that we can notice in our teens, in our youth, our loved ones that we have around us, some behavioral things that they might be doing that could point to the fact that their relationship is actually unsafe. And so I think things like a teen starting to wear different things, potentially under the influence of another person, you know?
Okay.
Prolonged exhaustion, withdrawing from their friends, isolating themselves, being glued to the phone. If you notice a teen is being constantly checked in on from somebody else, calling them, things like that, that can absolutely be a sign that the relationship is unsafe. I've seen teens who have engaged in taking photos to prove where they're at to a partner. And that's definitely a sign that their partner is being controlling and demanding and incessantly intruding into their partner's life in order to exert control over where they go, who they spend time with, how they act, how they behave, stuff like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And some other, of course, red flags, sort of like these behaviors that would say to me, in my mind, that this relationship could potentially become unsafe or is unsafe already, again, is just sort of the flip side of all those other things that I just mentioned. If we see a teen relationship where somebody is consistently unwelcomed, intruding into another person's life, showing up unannounced, if a partner's ever sabotaged something you love, you know, made you late to a job interview, stuff like that. A lot of these red flags and the effects of those controlling abusive behaviors are really the same that you would see in an adult relationship. There's definitely some differences, but there's a whole lot of overlap.
So my question is, if there are educators or people that are working with young people, and I'm sure you wouldn't know this specifically, but do you know if there is a contact person within different districts or within the schools?
So I would definitely encourage any teen who even thinks that their relationship might be unsafe or become unsafe to reach out to any school staff that they feel comfortable talking with. Especially people who might have titles such as behavior interventionists, counselors, and a Title IX coordinator. So each school is supposed to have a Title IX coordinator, and those people at school buildings are the person who is dedicated to intentionally take on tasks in regard to students' potentially discriminatory behaviors, such as sexual harassment and dating violence and stuff like that.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and actually, in addition to that, part of what I do with providing these education sessions to these schools, in many of the schools I go to, we've been able to intentionally carve out space during the school day for me to be there. And so if I'm at a school and I'm doing my education sessions with them, I also let those kids know that during this time to this time, I actually have they set me up in a room down the hall. You can come talk to me. Or they set me up in like the resource center. I'm there, and if you want to talk about what we learned in class today, that's one thing. That's totally okay. But if you also want to come and chat about maybe a relationship you were in recently, or maybe a relationship you're currently in, it might not be abusive or unsafe, but if you have questions, you can come to me. So I am a person in the schools that I can be utilized, and I'm not the only one who does it. I have a co-educator who comes to the schools with me as well. And a lot of times, especially and we call them office hours, I try as much as possible to bring another Safe Place staff person who is our outreach counselor to go with me, so she can have those conversations with students as well.
Now, do you have contact information in case there is someone that's listening that would be interested in having you come to their school or talking to you?
I would love that. I'm totally available for being. I will leave my information with you. I don't know how you want me to. What format?
Do you know it by heart right now?
My email is npatterson@safeplaceshelter.org, and actually, I don't have my office phone number memorized. That's all right. But I should work on that.
That's all right. So tell them your email again, and then I'll give them my information in case they need to contact you.
Yeah.
So again, this is Nina from Safe Place. We are talking about teen dating violence. February is the awareness month for that, and we have Nina here who has a wealth of information and resources to help us help our young people who may be experiencing it, or also some preventative measures, maybe to see what we can do to help. And so if you would like to find out how to get a hold of her, please feel free to give me a call at 269-968-8166 extension 501. And did you?
Yes, I have my office phone number here as well. So I can be reached at 269-965-7233 extension 27.
Good. Also, I know that we've been talking about resources. Do you have a list, because we are the library, do you have a list of books that you would recommend to some of our young people as it relates to this topic?
You know, I think literature is amazing, and literature can really save people and bring them to a different place in their lives. And I've tried to develop a reading list of young adult novels that I can give to you. Some that have gotten really amazing reviews include things like Bitter End by Jennifer Brown, Inexcusable by Chris Lynch, Point by Brandy Colbert, Breaking Beautiful by Jennifer Shaw Wolfe. I've tried my best to develop a list of 10, 15 young adult novels that deal with dating abuse and healing.
Good, and we will have a copy of that. I'm not sure if we have all those books here at Willard Library, but we will definitely see if it's something that we can order. What we do have on our shelves is When Violence Begins at Home, a comprehensive guide to understanding and ending domestic abuse. We also have the book called The Illusion of Love by David P. Solani. And then this is a very popular book. It's called Dangerous Relationships, How to Identify and Respond to the 7 Warning Signs of a Troubled Relationship. And this is by Noel Nelson, PhD. And so these are just a few of the books that we do have available at Willard Library. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
I think there are some unique things about teen dating violence that the community would benefit from knowing.
Okay.
So, for example, I think a lot of times the perception of violence in teen relationships is that it's non-existent, or it doesn't happen, or, how could a teenager be abusive? And that all totally makes sense, but the fact is, teen dating relationships, just like adult relationships, have the potential to be abusive. And there's a unique aspect to teen dating violence in regards to achieving safety.
Okay.
Adults in abusive relationships often, not always, often lead separate lives from their abusers outside of the home, whereas a teenager's whole life is structured around school, and where their abusive partner is likely a classmate. And so the question becomes, how do we meet the needs of a teen who's experiencing these abusive behaviors? How do we create safety for them when they very well may have to sit through classes and lunch and extracurriculars with somebody who's been abusive to them? So that's a unique aspect that requires a sort of specific approach when it comes to addressing teen dating violence and actual lives of teenagers. Another thing that I think is a stark statistic that I think would paint a picture for community members is that less than a third of teens who have experienced violence in their relationships will ever tell an adult.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's profound. Well, thank you for doing the work that you do.
Thank you.
And please make sure you contact Nina. Go ahead and give them your telephone number again.
Sure. So that's 269-965-7233, extension 27.
And so, again, this is Let's Talk About It at Willard Library once a month. We'll try to bring you different resources, information, different organizations that might be of use to you. Please share and like and let other people know that this is a very serious thing that the community is dealing with, and all it takes is one person at a time to make a difference. So thank you for being the change we need to see.
Thank you,
in
and
our
thank you for
community.
having me.
Thanks for coming. See you later.